GM Farcaster's On-Chain Summer continues with CastOut. 6 players remain to outwit, outplay, and outcast for a chance to win 100,000 degen. For the next challenge, it's time to ponder. Players will create a survey using the ponder frame and cast it in the channel of their choice. They'll post anytime after noon Eastern today, and whichever survey has the most results by 11 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday wins that player immunity, and one of the other 5 will be casted out. If you're not a cast out player, you can still play along. Back your favorite player on bracket.game and follow the cast out channel for all the fun. And let us know which survey was your favorite. Are you ready and on? Let's outwit, outplay, and outcast this on-chain summer with CastOut. And thank you to our premier partner, Pinata, sponsor of both GM Farcaster and CastOut. GM Farcaster, and welcome to the CastOut edition. You're here with Nounish Prof and TLDR, and Jace may be joining us in a little bit to chat through all things CastOut. And we have a big one today. This has been really fun. So as you just saw, the challenge was a survey, and there's lots of strategies to this, and you could see them demonstrated in the surveys that the players put out there. So they each had to create a ponder survey, and they were pretty impressive. So did you get a chance to look at them at all, Tim?
Yeah, I did. I voted on some, but I'd love to review them.
Yeah, we're gonna look through them all because there aren't that many, and they all are so different. So been really impressed with what everyone did. So this was Adrian's, and Adrian's did get the most at 11 a.m., but it got very close. So is Farcaster dying? Already almost dead, barely alive, what? And she ended up with 772 responses in less than 24 hours. Wow. And not in small part due to this. So she got a little recast from Dan. So and the way she posed this is if less than 1,000 people respond to this poll, Farcaster will officially be declared dead. And so Dan recasted that, quote casted it, vote or die. And I don't know if she reached out to him. He just did it. I'm still convinced he has no idea where CastOut is. Because also this doesn't mention anything about CastOut. So he could just be like, have seen it on his timeline and recast it. I have no idea. But that's
incredible.
Incredible.
I actually didn't see the recast of that.
As soon as I saw the recast, I was like, oh, okay, now we've got a game. So like, wow. Yeah. So then we had Toadies. Now I thought Toadies was very clever. Based fam, I need your help. Which of these super based apparel concepts is your favorite? And the way he did this was he put them below and also put this in the base channel, one of the hugest ones. He had also done the hoodie previously, and this one went really well too. So this was at 771 at the 11 a.m. hour. This was losing by 4, and then it caught up, and they were tied, and then so it's been still going back and forth. So wow. Toady and Adrian were battling at right up to the end for the top spot. He was making a comeback. So
wow, this is like Bird and Jordan,
right? Yay Celtics, by the way. Woo! That was awesome.
Celtics fan.
Huge Celtics fan. Grew up there. Have a shamrock tattoo. Yeah, met Larry Bird a couple times. Yeah, so. Huge Celtics fan. So I was watching that. I said the other night, I'm like, they lost in Dallas on purpose. They wanted this win back in Boston. No freaking doubt. Especially when you saw the game yesterday. It was like, come on. They did not really lose that game.
Like, no way. It was so dominant. I mean, they were commanding the whole way through the tournament,
yeah.
Really.
Yeah, totally. It was a great season. It was very reminiscent to me, and I know we're getting off topic, but reminiscent to me of like the 86 Celtics, where it was a really big team effort. Like at any time somebody was coming off that bench and like,
did they have Bill Walton? Did they have Bill Walton that year?
Yeah. So nice. It was so it really it was what a great timing, and amazing. Okay, moving on. Cameron took an interesting approach with number go up or down.
Wow.
We know the answer to this. Number go up, please. Although a few people are like, it's going down.
I love this though, like room for interpretation. Yeah. Make it easy, frictionless.
You can see all these different strategies, right? Very different strategies of trying to tap into different aspects.
It's so interesting because I made a ponder before this challenge was announced, like over the weekend. And I was like, how do you pronounce the user DAWUFI? So I made a ponder about this because I actually didn't know, and I keep saying it different ways.
I say DWOOFY, but
you're right. According to
that is my understanding from DWOOFY.
Like the Woofy pinned that on his channel, and I got like 150 votes, which I thought was amazing.
It is amazing.
Looking at these results to put it in a context, like a survey that did really well, and these are just blowing it out.
Crazy, right? Yeah. So I did ask Kojo. I asked Colin, what has been the survey that's gotten the most? Like what number? What's the top results? And he said over 2,000 very early on in frames, because it was one of the few things in frames that was happening right away. So people were, spinning up a lot of surveys, and people were playing around with it because it was now in a frame. But he said 100 to 200 is a really good solid survey. So far, all of these have had well over 200 and, over 700 for Adrian and Tody. So impressive and great choices. This one was really interesting, and it broke most people's brains. Will the results of this poll match its prediction?
Right.
So Kristen, getting very creative. The answer is no. But also, like, people didn't get I don't think people got the challenge. I don't think they got the assignment. So
I didn't
we wanted this to be 69, and then we fill in the rest. But it's not easy. It's not easy to do, but there is a way. So that was really, again, the creativity here is really great. Grace went to something very simple, but something that would appeal to everyone, I would think. What is your top used messaging app in your personal life? So I thought that was interesting.
I know the answer to this. This is
mine's definitely iMessage.
I've got to go as like 70% iMessage.
I went 44. Wow. Yeah. I went iMessage. Yeah. That's what I use. I just took it from my life because I rarely use WhatsApp, and I use Telegram only when I'm forced to by you people. So definitely iMessage for me. But then we have those Android users too.
That's actually very useful.
Yeah. So I thought that was a good solid survey. And then we had Erica bringing up the rear here with, does Farcaster need more crypto or non-crypto memes? And this was smart because then she got Johnny to pin it in the memes channel. So that
feels like the shadow or the remnants of an alliance.
Yep, definitely. Remnants of a wow alliance right there for sure. And I think that was really smart move. Very good strategy.
Be so bad at this game. These moves are so good.
So good.
I love it.
And she came in third with this, even though hers went up last. I had a ping her. She's in the middle of getting ready for demo day this week with Seed Club. And but it's, even though it came in last, it's still, without the two crazy 700 numbers, she'd be right in there. So well done to all of them. I think this has been This is a fun one. I think I like this challenge. I think it worked out well. No notes. I love what they all did.
That was like a good, clean challenge. No torture. No
torture.
No technical glitches. Congratulations, Ponder.
Ponder, well done. Like no issues, no concerns.
But Prof, do you feel like you've seen Ponder just sort of like organically getting used a lot more recently? I can't tell if it just seems like it or what's crossing my feed, or are you seeing the same thing?
I am too. Yeah, I've seen it, and like you said, like you used it I've seen it used in so many different ways too. And I think they have an update that's going live soon as well, because they're in Seed Club. Yeah. So I know they're working on some things too. So I'm curious to see what's coming next for them. But definitely have seen some just organic use cases of like what you did, or, just Jace was dropping a couple of them for CastOut just randomly. Like he did, the one which Wow or Mole, and he's been doing some surveys in there just every once in a while. And so I love seeing that, that was a way that somebody could interact with CastOut without even, being a player or something like that. So that was pretty cool.
Totally.
Yeah. So I think I definitely have seen more happening. But from Colin, he said like the big numbers were right after frames, and then we kind of settled into like a more steady approach, as opposed to like the craziness of everybody wants to try it kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Super powerful though, very powerful tool from information collection, data collection standpoint, I think, because it's so easy. It's so easy to set up, and it's so easy to gather the results. So, and for the most part, when we can tie it back to people too, that's always helpful. At least, it's individual accounts. You never know, because you could have some bots in there, but chances are you've got real people doing it. So
yeah, and I bet they can do all kinds of like filtering on that, filter for power badge, like probably lots of. And
I'm going to guess that's probably some of the stuff that's coming, is what I would guess, is maybe they're building in some more functionality like that, which would be very cool. Part of what I was doing with CastOut, or a big part of it, was like how many different Farcaster things could we incorporate and use as challenges and just incorporate into the game overall. And I think we're nailing it with that. So that's been really cool.
You're pushing it. You're pushing it to the edge. I love it.
I know. I'm like, we've got 2 left, and I think they're both going to be really fun. I think one is by the Pinata team. That'll be our last challenge, and that's all I'll say about that. And then we have another one that'll be Thursday, and I'm trying to find, where was my original pin? By the way, I put a survey out there as a hint, and this was really funny, and I'm just trying to find my cast. Here it is. Nope, that's not it. Here it is. So this was really funny because nobody got the hint. So I said, what do you think the next CastOut challenge will be? And I put a few ideas here. Create an NFT, start a channel, ETH prediction. And these were other ideas I had that I discarded. And then I put other. And by the way, anybody who picked other, nobody gave me an answer. If they had, they would have got a DGen tip from me if they got it right, because the challenge was in the asking. The survey was the hint, and nobody got the hint. Because Jay said, "Oh, that was really clever. That was a clever hint," and I'm like, "Not really, because nobody got it." So, yeah. Anyway,
no, these are all clues for how to find the immunity idols.
Yes, and hey, so speaking of that,
how your mind is thinking about it.
Speaking of that, we've got a few, we got a little criticism coming from some former players, or players and former players, but from Ted. And it was, this was interesting. And then I'll share what Heavyweight had recasted on here. So personal opinion, CC Jace for his input. I wish he was here so he could comment, but he was iffy because he had another commitment. The Team Mole, Adrian, Kristen, Cameron, Toady Hawk, .eth Alliance is both predictable and obvious, and therefore entertainment limiting and boring. Someone please spice it up. And my response back was, I think you just did. I think you just spiced it up. So thank you. And Jace's comment back was, lest we forget, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nounish Prof, but previously casted out contestants will become the jury in the future. Thus, it behooves current contestants to pivot to play to the jury. In theory, one could curry favor by thinking, acting accordingly in terms of who made the most frenemies thus far. Great point.
Very good
and
point.
We are moving to this time period where it's going to be switching over to the jury. That'll happen next week. We've got 2 more eliminations.
So 2 more eliminations. The final 4 is jury.
No, so the last, there's going to be 4, 4 who didn't make it into, no, 3, 5, sorry, 5 that didn't make it in to the final 2, that will be the jury. Plus everyone else who was casted out prior to the halving, or along with the halving, will have 1 collective vote. So they'll have their own ballot, and whoever wins that. And then if we need a tiebreaker, that will be the tiebreaker.
And that's for when 4 people are left.
That's for when 2 are left.
Oh, for only when 2 people are left. So they keep voting each other out until there's 2 left. Wow.
So we're going to vote 1 more out today. There's 1 challenge that will open tomorrow and will end on Thursday. They'll vote another person out then. And then next week, there's 1 last challenge that will start Monday. And on Tuesday, 2 people will be voted out, leaving us with 2 left. So we'll have another halving.
And so when can immunity idols no longer be used?
The next vote is the last time.
Okay.
The next vote is the last time. And you just reminded me, let me double check something and make sure that I just have to double check the votes. They are all in.
Here we go.
And I'm just making sure that nobody, I don't know if anyone's playing an immunity idol. So that's what I just need to check. I don't see anything. Okay. All right. So before we do that, though, let me show this one last thing. We had a little accusation of unfair play. So I do want to address that real quick. From Heavyweight. So y'all want spice? Well, here you go. I'm officially confirming the Mole Alliance, but also further announcing my definitely backed by not just circumstantial evidence belief that this has been rigged from the start. Is it a coincidence that Nounish Prof's business partner in business and now supposed partner in crime, Adrian, is on the seemingly blessed team? That's interesting. How did they get so many extra votes? They only had 1. And hidden immunity idols, I am still highly skeptical of the yoink results too. Okay. So let me address this. Adrian literally has known nothing about anything that was going to happen. I'm really looking forward to next week being able to talk with her about what's been going on in the background, because we haven't talked about it. But the one thing I know is that when the bracket game started, she said anyone who is holding Adrian will be in like a separate group chat with her. And that group of folks have been coaching her. So I don't know exactly how she found hidden immunity idol, but I know that she was coached to find it. That I know. Like somebody told her where to find it. Wasn't me. Somebody else did. They figured it out.
Wow.
So that was the first one. And then the second hidden immunity idol was very open. If you knew what to do. And there was a few people who were very close to getting it. And Kristen ended up getting it. Because you had to take the secret word from the Framedle. It was a Framedle like Wordle in the frame. Mm-hmm. You had to take that word and put it into POAP and get the POAP using secret word. So Kristen was the first one to get it. So that's all on chain. And there was a few people who were very close on that one. And they just didn't know what to do with the second step. So they kept like DMing me and I'm like, that's not it. You have to figure it out. And I had dropped a hint too. in the reply of that one. So there you go. And the extra vote that was all public. So you guys saw that. It was the challenge. So it was the confessionals. And we had set up the metrics and all that stuff. So they knew that ahead of time. And that was the extra vote. So that was Kristen also. They've been playing really hard. And it's really funny because even Jace's Ponder survey, speaking of, about which team was poised to win, went to WoW because they had Nonlinear and Ted on that team. So most people thought that was the blessed team and the stacked team. So interesting. Yeah, interesting to see how I think Mole just played harder. They've been playing harder.
Well, I think you mentioned this last week. I can't remember if it was on or off air, but the 0.2 seconds between Toadie's Speed Tracer and Ted's. That I think Toadie was like 1.8 and Ted was at like 2 seconds.
I think it was actually 0.1 second. I think it was
still like incredible.
Crazy.
I'm just amazed.
I think he was 1.99 and she was like 2 seconds.
Right.
So like it was that close.
Margin formed this alliance that's now like presumably shaping the game. So it's like
if she had won Speed Tracer, like if it had been that one less second, it was whatever, that would have been the thing. Yeah, that would have been. That would have flipped the whole game.
I mean,
and WoW would have had the numbers
she would have had the inside track.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the game changer was Speed Tracer for sure. Yeah, and it's point
cool because that is like a game of skill, right? Like so, it's it's an interesting one to pivot.
The other thing is what's really interesting about almost all these games, right? All these things, they're public. A lot of them are on chain. Speed Tracer's on chain because you have to mint your results. So you're minting your results. It's on chain. There's no judgment call, right? It's not subjective at all for that one. So that one was pretty interesting. And there was really a strategy on that is like, you could see when people mint their results, how many attempts they've made before they did that one.
Yeah.
And Toadie had 185 attempts on that winning time. And I think Ted had, so percentage wise, she did much better because I think she had like 38 or something like that. But you can see it right on the results that they minted. So yeah, interesting, right? So I think that was definitely the game changer.
Yeah. It's funny because it's hard to predict, what's going to be the most important moment, but looking back,
no idea. Yeah. And it's really, the other thing that's really interesting too, is if the girls' alliance, if the women's alliance had held, this would be a completely different game. And that was the thing. I wasn't sure that the Mole alliance would hold. I really thought that they were going to take out Cameron because Toadie had immunity. So I thought the girls' alliance was the one that was going to hold, and it didn't. So there you go.
I'm just checking in chat, like Heavyweight is just so unconvinced.
I mean, that was the thing. I really thought that the girls' alliance was going to hold, and that was going to be it. I do want to check in on bracket game. So, and get your prediction before I announce who's going home. We have Adrian at the top here, holding with 27 owners, then Toadie, Cameron, Kristen, Grace, and Heavyweight. And that's based on prices, but on owners, I think there's a little bit of a shift. We've got Cameron, then Toadie, Kristen, Heavyweight, then Grace. So price versus owners, a little bit of difference, but basically about the same. So what's your prediction here, Tim? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think the community seems to have it right, with WoW. At this point, it's just sort of like, it looks to me like there's Mole and then like two kind of favorites within Mole with Adrian and Toadie. And then there's WoW, and it seems like that's pretty much determining the sorting here. So I think it's hard. I don't know a lot about Survivor, but like,
yeah,
the dynamics, but it seems to me at least like everybody thinks that this Mole Alliance is going to last till the Final Four. So I'd say
it's interesting. It's interesting because there are two ways it usually goes in Survivor at this point. And you've got either the alliance holds and it goes the way you expect it, or they start to go, wait, I should probably get this person out right now while I have the chance, because if they're with me at the end, I'm going to lose against them. So Adrian has immunity because she won this one. So she can't be voted out. Like, if I'm Team Mole and I'm playing hard, I'd be looking to get out Cameron or Toady right now because they're vulnerable. But if Mole holds, then it's probably going to be Heavyweight or Grace. So, but there's a strategy here to be played if they wanted to.
That's a sort of outside chance. I guess that you'd have to, if you do that, you can't miss, right? Because like the Women's Alliance broke last time. So like you don't want to do that and miss your shot. And then if you do that, you also have to worry about it next week, whereas you could like kind of guaranteed get both of the WoW competitors out.
Right. And then that's the other thinking here too, is that if one of the WoW competitors does go through, they're actually stronger for the end.
Yeah.
They have more of their tribe on the jury. So there you go. Like that's a whole other thought process. So there's
interesting.
There's multiple layers to this to think through when you're thinking about strategy. So yeah.
Super.
But we have the votes in.
I predict
what do you think?
I think that the Mole Alliance, I'd say I'm going to go the direction of the Mole Alliance holding strong. I think Erica spicing things up and calling them out is probably means that she's gonna get the ticket here.
You think so? All right, here we go. Yep, it was Erica. So Erica Heavyweight, I'm sorry, but 4 votes for you, 2 votes for Toady Hawk, just to spice things up. And that's where we stand now. So now we have 5 left for Mole, 1 remaining WoW. Congratulations, Grace. You've survived the rest.
Wow.
And we have 2 challenges to go. So the next challenge will announce tomorrow morning on GM Farcaster. I'm excited for this one, and it'll be a lot of fun. Heavyweight, it's probably good timing.
Okay, wait. So now
I love you, but you probably have to focus more on your demo day anyway.
Yeah, so right. She probably was spicing things up to free herself
like,
up.
Please vote me out. I wouldn't be surprised. It's Mole strong. Oh no, Brackett's not letting somebody sell.
Oh no. Mish, you're probably getting like stopped. Yeah, there's probably a
rush. It's probably a rush. So we will be back tomorrow morning, Adrian and I, for our regular GM Farcaster show. And I will have the next challenge for you all. And I'm really excited about this one. I am going to have a little public competition, if you will, and as well, so you might be able to win some DGen, which hopefully someday will be worth something again. But let's not talk about that.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm not even gonna think about it. I'm not looking at any charts for the next 2 weeks, just in case. And that's it for us. Anything else on bracket or anything else you want to share? Sam, we should give it one more look just to see if anything's changed.
Looks like, big time selling on heavyweight. And it's super interesting. Like Adrian and Toady are both like, there's price estimates of like where it will end up, and like they're both like nearly like kind of 1-to-1 odds. Like, so they're both being given like kind of near 50% chance of winning. So I think they're like, you know, strong favorites there. I'm really interested to see if Grace, to your point about this, if the Molly Alliance can hold, or if Grace can slip through to the final four.
She has a big opportunity for this next challenge. Like if she can, you know, it's a totally individual challenge. There's really no way to, it's completely on the person. So it's completely, anyone can take this one. No doubt in my mind. And so if she can pull this off, like that would be a huge upset.
I've got a massive Grace position. I was talking about it. Grace can do it. Everybody buy Grace. Grace can do it. You got it.
All right. We will see you tomorrow, and we'll be back on Thursday at noon for another Cast Out edition with all the results for the next challenge. And yeah, congratulations to the 5. And sorry, Erica, you're an amazing competitor. And you were like right in there today. I was really impressed with your results, but just wasn't enough. So thanks, everyone. We will see you tomorrow, and bye-bye.